the music got to be connecting better, bro.
So tell me something.
Right now, if you're into streaming because you compile for streamers, right? I guarantee you look at it right now that 90s music and 90s dancehall is actually streaming better than current dancehall.
It has been like that for quite some time.
Thank you. How is that right? How are we making waves when old school music is doing better than current music? I'm not trying to be an asshole here. I'm not trying to knock any new artists. I'm about new artists.
Yes. I'm doing good. 4 minutes. This has to be a record. The man give it to me last time. This has to be a record, man. He is my guest. Honestly, he has to be the hardest working musician I've known in my time, because it was only possibly March, April I spoke to him. He was just talking about doing mad other projects.
Hot Shot 2020. Yeah.
Hot Shot 2020. And he didn't let the puss out of the bag that he's already got a Christmas album. Let me just ask you something. Let's not get all techie. Was this album recorded since Hot Shots? Did you just manage to put that album together?
I kind of did them simultaneously, to be honest with you. It started, the idea came from me and Steve doing like that Disney Christmas in the States, you know what I mean? And we did a couple of Christmas carols in like reggae. And I started putting when I came back from the tour in the UK, I started putting some ideas together. And I called Sting and I was like, yo, Sting, what's up? Let's get together. And he's like, yeah, I love these songs. Let's get together and make them hot. But then the pandemic happened. He got stuck, in the UK. I got stuck in New York. Then I ended up going to Jamaica and getting stuck to Jamaica. It was clear that it was going to be a Shaggy record. And then I just started, changing the whole narrative of how it's done and just the experiences. Because, so we do a tropical Christmas and we just say, let's do it Christmas in the Islands. And, it just kind of flourished from there. But I was starting to write the songs from about, I would say March. And then I started to record about end of August when we get stuck at Jamaica. I'm going to just call up everybody.
So there you go. The album we're talking about is Christmas on the Island. I want to talk about this.
Christmas in the Island.
Oh, it's in the island.
But you can do it on the island too, so you're good. You're good either way.
Anyway, let me say it from now. Christmas in the island, Christmas on the island, Christmas around the island. Say over here.
Sun and shine.
Nah, go on like that. This man drops this album. He does his rendition of. We're gonna talk about the renditions. We're gonna talk about all this, these things. But I was under belief that there's gonna be a mad mix mash album. This is with overdrive. This is a 0.2 because the production was sounding so super crispy. And the last conversation we were having was about like how you're blending these sounds and taking sounds what you were doing back in the day with Hot Shots, which is now sounding so much like nowadays music. Everybody, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So not knowing that there was an album in the bag. Let me tell you some of the artists on the album. Now it starts Sanchez. The man have Shenseer. The man got Just Stone. The man got Richie Stevens, Conqueror. The man got Bounty Killer, Junior Reid. Man. I mean, crazy album, crazy. Who else didn't you have on the album?
Well, you know what it is? I kind of make the songs them dictate the collaborations. You know what I mean? So when we start write songs like Open Presence, it have a kind of a pop feel. I needed a reggae voice to kind of make that pop. Because the melody was so pop. Good to be home when lights are on the tree. Want a reggae voice. You don't want a pretty singing. Want kind of a, still pretty, but you have that kind of that style. Yeah. And Romain just came to mind. Romain, it just sounded like him.
That's a big track. That's a big track with you and Romain. Big track. I mean, I've enjoyed the combinations, but some of them really stand out. I mean, the track with you and Sanchez brings me back to a place like, it's a long time we don't get those kind of singer DJ style. I know you've done tracks with Sanchez, but that kind of like,
let me tell you something right now. I have Brian and Tony Gold on Bounty Killer. Just remember me telling that.
Nah. Yeah, I heard some jugglings going on, but let's talk about it in a second. So the album, you've been like promoting the album, and when you go into promo drive, everybody wakes up in America and sees Shaggy. I'm only too sure Piers Morgan's is itching to see you and all these things. I mean, when you're promoting a Christmas album, what's the difference? Obviously time constraint, but what is the difference for you putting out an album for the season, a concept album? How do you go about promoting it? I mean,
it's the same thing. I actually put this record through BMG. I licensed it to BMG, and I did a 10-year license. So every year we're gonna promote it, and do a thing. I also, you do the same thing. You hire your publicist, you hire your team, you get your team together. You know what I mean? You get your people on the streets. I get Sharon Burke. I get everybody that I know. You know what I'm saying? And I get things going. You know what I mean? Some people, when I see them now play my team, McCall and go on bad.
Yeah.
You know?
I didn't get it. I didn't actually get it. So yeah, you
I know.
To the connection.
I realize that.
Thank you, Willie Daniels. Willie Daniels, salute, sir.
Yes, big up to Willie. But and I holla and I just get people going, because everything boils down to relationship. Me, I have a relationship. Me and most of them people there. I'm a staple in this game of reggae. I'm not going anywhere. You know what I'm saying? So it's best we have great relation to build a culture. You know what I mean? And we should support our reggae and our dancehall acts massive. You know what I mean? Because everybody else comes here and take, from us. We are the nucleus of cool. Yeah. This culture. Everything comes from this culture. When you look at, what Katy Perry is doing, or what what's she name there? Lady Gaga, or any of these new pop acts are doing, that's Grace Jones, brother.
Yeah, sure.
You know what I'm saying? When you look at reggaeton, Afrobeat, hip hop, any of these genres, that's from dancehall and reggae.
El General.
So we have the
things,
cool. Yeah, El General who started. So when you look on it, we are the embryo of it. You know what I mean? We are we're the cool factor. Always. What we just do with this now is basically just bring cool to Christmas.
Does that mean we can
That's
do?
What we just did.
Does that mean we can do anything with our music? I mean, you're proving that. But it's nothing new in terms of reggae doing Christmas album. But does that still mean that we can embark on new things, being super cool, the super cool music from the island? It seems a bit restricted.
We've seen lots of reggae albums that are Christmas. A lot of people don't pay attention to them because one, a lot of it was just kind of nostalgic. This is dancehall. This is what we do every Christmas. I always spend with the party. You come to Jamaica during Christmas. It's parties at the parties. That's the big deal out there, right? And it's normally dancehall music that they play at the party. You hear them play Christmas music. So all I did was do a bunch of party songs with a Christmas theme.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And really brought the coolness to it, so that everybody, young people could get involved, everybody could get involved, old people get involved, and they could dance and have a great time. Now, the timing is kind of weird because of the pandemic, but it's also good because that's the time we need it the most. You know what I mean? And in Jamaica, we now got parties after parties after parties after parties, but we'll have family. And our gatherings might be 15 or just immediate family, where you could put this music on and have an amazing time with it.
I'm glad you said that, because I had a moment in the summer where I felt that I was approached by a few people to do some playlists, and I thought, okay, it's my responsibility. People are at home and they haven't got nothing to stream and what have you. I did a top 50 Spotify playlist of tracks, and I struggled. Mm-hmm. So I had to rename the playlist like Super Clean, because I obviously, as you said, people are at home. People want things to listen to.
People listen with their kids.
Yeah, and you want to listen with your family. You want to listen at the barbecue. Mm-hmm. And, I thought, I just put it out. And I was amazed to see how many people hit this playlist, because it was super clean, no profanity and what have you. Streaming has adjusted how people consume the music as well. And have you noticed that? And did that also play a factor in you making this album to be streamable?
Yeah, but all of my music is streamable. I have, 15 million monthly subscribers. Me, Bob Marley, and Sean Paul are the three highest streaming dancehall. So I've always had streamable music. I've always had music that is clean. I don't really do a lot of profanity. But the thing is, I find myself, even at this stage of the game, being in a position of influence, you know, and I still have to represent the music. And streaming did change the game, but how many of our artists that we see that are older artists, you know, that are dying broke, that they have their body of works that is owned by other people, their publishing is owned by other people, their business was handled properly. We got to change that narrative. We got to change, you know, we got to have that pension. You know, Jay and them did it for hip hop. You know, you see the reggaeton boys doing it. You know, I hope the Afrobeat boys are doing it, because we got to start getting it better for our young reggae artists coming up, so that they could have something in their old age. You know what I mean? And have catalog and music, you know, that you could after, you know, at your old age, you could cash out on your catalog. You could be like, okay, I'm going to sell this catalog down the line. I'm going to collect whatever it is. Just like how you see, you know, all these other rock artists do it.
But tell me something. I've noticed a lot of maybe while you're on this word of advice, there's a lot of acts and artists I've noticed over the last few days been posting their Spotify image of how many songs they've streamed. Some look good. Mm-hmm. Some look really good. Some just look like a JPEG.
I would never post any of that, including my own, and I have one of the highest.
Why?
Because we're not in the ball game. If you look at who we're competing against, we're competing against Afrobeat, we're competing against reggaeton, we're competing against hip hop. We're not even we're not even in par. We're not even in the circle. We're not even nowhere near to have a conversation with them. That's embarrassing to me. I'm not putting that up.
I hear you, brother. I mean, I see them and I'm happy.
Brother, hey, call us speed.
Yeah,
and
I was just gonna say I was happy. I'm happy for anybody that posts their stuff, but I know the numbers look kind of slim.
That's what I said. You know what I mean? So, you know, I get it. Yeah, you can be happy about what you're doing, especially if you're a new artist starting. You know, but the genre needs to be better unless we change those numbers, right? And start doing music that is competing, and start doing music that is just under this little, I don't know, man. You know, under this little umbrella, this little bubble. You know what I mean? You got to make some music with a visa. I'm sorry, bro. That's I just saw it go. So after I did, that's how it is.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm trying, but I'm 52. There's no way you should have the old dude like me and Sean Paul and Bob Marley, the dead man, pardon me, the legend. You know what I'm saying? Leading in a streaming genre. It's crazy. Like Drake. I mean, Michael Jackson's not selling more than Drake.
Oh? Michael Jackson does well, but Drake does very, very well.
He does well, but he's not streaming more than Drake. That's why I said we shouldn't be the top streamer. The man need to step up them game. And I'm a fan of everything. There's no shortage of talent. A lot of them are superstars. Because I always say a reggae artist is not just a star, it's a superstar. Because we don't have, it's not a level playing field. We don't have the privileges that other labels. When I started with Old Carolina, record labels was not spending money on dancehall artists. They couldn't, because there was no success story of it. But my God, you got a lot of success story in dancehall right now.
Crazy, yeah.
You got other people using it. Right? The playing field is level. You got your devices. You got a direct thing to your fans. There's a lot more things you can be doing to create those numbers and get it going. The music got to be connecting better, bro.
So tell me something.
Right now, if you're into streaming because you compile for streamers, right? I guarantee you look at it right now, that 90s music and 90s dancehall is actually streaming better than current dancehall.
It has been like that for quite some time.
Thank you. How is that right? How are we making waves when old school music is doing better than current music? I'm not trying to be an asshole here. I'm not trying to knock any new artists. I'm about new artists. First of all, nobody put more new artists on. I have my finger on the pulse. I know the cool factor. I know everything. I know about Skilly Bang. I know everything about one, right? And I think they're incredibly talented. Shensia, she's one of her gems. Spice is one of her gems. You know, I wish Spice was on the album, but you know, we had a Spice album separate, so, you know.
I mean, you have Spice on a rhythm.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm not too, but I come.
Me know what go on. Yeah.
Me know you know what go on. You got your finger on the pulse.
I got my finger in WhatsApp saying, "Where my deal? Where have you deal with?" I asked straight away. Yeah.
Yeah, but you know, it's me highlighting when I did this album, and I brought it in the BMG. You know, I said, "Yo, hey, I got a lot of my peoples on this. I got a lot of the people in my genre on this, and I will continue to partner with them, with who want to partner with me, and use my platform as best as I can. I'm one of the few artists who could go on any mainstream television. I've been doing all of them here. You just mentioned Piers Morgan, you or whosoever it is.
Good Morning America.
Go and do it. Good Morning America. You know what I mean? Kelly and Ryan, all of these. I'm one of the few out of there. So I will continue to use my platform to do that.
People, underneath to check it out. I know what tune I'm gonna leave the place with because it's got to be my track on the album right now. Which one do you think, Shaggy? Knowing me,
I think it's Ragamuffin Christmas. Yeah,
of course.
That's the hey, because you have to make. Remember saying, "Oh, I talk to we, you know." Yeah, well, in the streets, boy. So in the streets record. When people look at me and tell me, say, "Yo, Bounty Killer, I do a Christmas song." Last Christmas song, be a Bounty Killer sing him say, "Boy, run, come in on the Magnum, boy."
Yo, but hey, listen, Bounty sounds so fresh on that track. I was wondering, when have Shaggy voiced this track about 10 years ago? Rodney sounds fresh.
No, I want to listen. Killer just in a great
Yo,
place
Killer
right
sound
now.
fresh.
And the records them when I ever come with Killer, you go really, really like. You know what I mean? Because we'll find a vibe. The last one when we do it in a Jamaica, I'm going to voice him the other night. And when I like the type of spitting where I do right, I know him good. But the thing is, you got to understand, Junior Reid and Bounty Killer, they're like poets. They are some of our greatest poets.
Ghetto poets.
Because when them sing a song, they tell the story. You don't just hear the story, you feel it. That's how real it is when them man jump on a record. You know what I mean? And he's just got that talent. He's one of the greatest DJ never. At first, this is the first time I really advise him. And then I'm for me as a DJ, I see how I'm going to come on and I'm doing it. Me just taking it back. Like,
but you was on I think it was the Killer album. Was it My Experience? You featured Third World, Bounty Killer back in the day.
Yeah, but we never did it and see him advice.
Okay, he wasn't okay, right.
Yeah,
right.
we did it separate. But I say for me really, and him allowing me to instruct him for what I love the melody them swing and them thing, there was a privilege because a Killer, when I go to tell Killer for DJ. You know, but he's so
Shaggy,
but him so open and the respect was so mutual between me and him where I say, yo, here what DJ, swing it away. He must say, yo, you mean so I must say wicked. You know what I mean? He was open to take those criticisms and those ideas and you know what I mean, and it was a joy for work with him, man. Killer, he's a brother I know so much years, but no, I don't say a different side of him where, you know, for really experience and talent that way, I was moved, man. It really is a special person. Bounty Killer is a special person.
Rodney Price, definitely, and with the length of days he's been in the business, the wisdom is
under celebrated.
100%.
I mean, this guy is represented is responsible for so many people's livelihood, so many artists that he has put on the platform. Under celebrated. He should be one of the most celebrated icons in the game.
Well, on that note, I can say you've been responsible for a lot of my livelihood.
Yeah.
Honor Arville. Respect.
It's Bounty Killer, Shaggy and Junior Reid.
Yes, Robbo.